Hercules aircraft is en route to Tripoli to collect British citizens, and Turkey says it's mounted the largest evacuation effort in its history. Charles Stratford has more on the events in Libya.
Their hands are bound behind their backs, weapons and ammunition strewn among them. Libyan authorities say these men tried to overthrow the Gaddafi government. Some of the men are moving. The pictures aired on Libyan state TV. In another clip, a man describes what he says are weapons seized from an Algerian national who entered the country with the aim of assassinating officials. The authorities say these are Egyptian passports, seized along with mobile phones and CDs. A man describes information which he says was found on the CDs, detailing instructions about sabotage. Minutes later, more men appear on camera in what seems to be heavily edited segments of taped confessions. This man says he broke into an army base and stole Kalashnikovs. An official from the Popular Committees for General Security says all weapons stolen must be returned.
We are calling on anyone who took weapons must return them to the popular social committees in their areas. No legal action will be taken against those who return the weapons and regret taking them.
Pictures like this serve to demonstrate the standoff that's now holding in Libya. The people of the uprising say victory will be theirs. This is the town of Misrata in western Libya, which has reportedly fallen to the opposition. If these pictures are accurate, then they would seem to bear that out. The international media is now beginning to find its way into Libya. These pictures show pro-democracy supporters celebrating their control of the city of Benghazi, but interpreting the direction events are heading in remains as difficult for people in the country as it does for the outside world. This video purports to show the aftermath of fighting on the streets of Tripoli between pro and anti-Gaddafi forces. It's been widely reported from the capital in Benghazi that gangs of yellow-hatted militia have been given free rein to move house to house in the hunt for the opposition. Gaddafi's tactics have enraged even those who know him well.
He's using mercenaries, not because he wants to use them, because he cannot use the army. He cannot use the armed forces of Libya because they are Libyans and they are faithful and honest people. They will not kill themselves, because killing their cousins and uncles and friends, it means that they are killing themselves. So he doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust even his own guard.
Video emerges all the time showing chaos and the danger which protesters often run headlong into. Here, for instance, there seem to be snipers on the roof of a building opposite. A small crack is heard and a man goes down, shot in the groin. Another rumour, again unverifiable unless it happens, is that Gaddafi has threatened to blow up his oil pipelines, which would bring havoc to the country, already beset by poverty, and would have ramifications on oil prices across the world. Charles Stratford, AlJazeera.
Meanwhile, a Libyan general told Al Jazeera on Wednesday that an Air Force pilot refused to bomb protesters in Benghazi. Al Jazeera has obtained these exclusive pictures of the wreckage of a Russian-made Siko-22 that crashed near the town of AlJazeera, east of Benghazi. The pilot and the co-pilot both ejected from the plane after refusing to carry out those orders to bomb civilians in Benghazi. Well, earlier, Libyan state television aired a short speech by Gaddafi's daughter Aisha, refuting reports that she'd left the country.
Firstly, I don't follow these agent channels. I only watch the official state channels. But I was surprised by the number of phone calls that I received from my friends abroad telling me this news. I would like to tell the Libyan people that I am as steadfast as this house I stand in front of. And this shows to the Libyan people the amount of lies, fabrications and false news these channels are spreading. I heard about the news that the UN ended my duties as an ambassador of goodwill. I heard this news and I don't know if it's true or not. But all Libyans that know me know I am a goodwill ambassador, with or without the UN.
US President Barack Obama has condemned violence in Libya. In a strongly worded statement, Obama said the Libyan government must be held responsible for failing to respect the rights of its people.
The suffering and bloodshed is outrageous, and it is unacceptable. So are threats and orders to shoot peaceful protesters and further punish the people of Libya. These actions violate international norms and every standard of common decency. This violence must stop. I've also asked my administration to prepare the full range of options that we have to respond to this crisis. This includes those actions we may take and those we will coordinate with our allies and partners, or those that we'll carry out through multilateral institutions.
Thousands of people are leaving Libya to escape the violence. Some have been arriving back in the Algerian capital to be met by their families. They brought with them eyewitness accounts of the chaos in Libya.
There were bullets in the early evening everywhere. You could see it with your own eyes. If you go out, you would be killed. Even if you looked through the window, you'd be killed. We've hardly eaten anything over the last week. Thank God we made it back to Algeria. It's a blessing.
There were so many people, and I can't describe what it was like in Libya. So many foreigners were there, and suddenly everything came to an end. There was no one left there. We stayed alone, but we were so scared we had to stay in and not go out.
I feel like crying. I'm so happy to be back in Algeria. Thank God I escaped the carnage. Did you see Baghdad? It was just like being in Baghdad. They saw planes, helicopters, people screaming, women slaughtering people. There were about 60 dead people in the green square in the centre of Tripoli. These 60 people were slaughtered. Buildings, hotels, the Justice Ministry, they were burned down. We were just working there, trying to make a living. Thank God our president, bless him, has helped us. It took us 4 days to get to the airport. You need too many papers to leave the country.
Well, let's get the views of Yusuf Bouandel, Professor of International Affairs at Qatar University here in Doha. As time passes, we are now seeing and hearing independent individuals from different countries with eyewitness testimony of their experiences. It only adds more weight to the argument from politicians that there is a massacre going on.
I think as the time goes by, we see from different quarters that indeed there has been a massacre going on in Libya, and politicians throughout the world will have to take notice of this. And also these testimonies from different people living in the country will quash the allegations that Gaddafi, his daughter and his son have been making on official TV, Libyan TV.
How much of a responsibility now then do the international community have in really getting their act together? Because they've done a lot of talking. We see where the roadmap in terms of the politics is going. Human Rights Commission in Geneva going to assemble. The United Nations going to talk again. Senior political leaders in America and in Europe now talking. But they really, what the people want to see is action, don't they?
I think what we're facing in Libya is a human tragedy, and obviously the international community needs to do something about it. Strong signals have been sent, but people in Libya are waiting for actions. There are certain people in the US who are calling for regime change or for non-fly zone. There are so many options, but I think that the sooner an action needs to be taken, the better.
Do you think some of that action might happen from within Libya? I mean, if we're seeing military personnel crash their